I should point out, before the video begins and all of you pointed out, I misspelled Johansson. I'm sorry. I can't spell. It happens. Get over it. And now, for the video. Go Preds. The NHL hockey season is upon us. Well, it's actually just Game 1 finished, Game 2 is playing right now, Game 3 and 4 starting later. But I'm talking about the Nashville Predators, and here are my expectations for the Nashville Predators in the 2019-2020 season. Ba-da-da-da, intro. So first we're going to start off with the line combinations. Now, I have it written back there, but it'll also appear right there. I think the line combinations this season are, they should be pretty much the same as what they have been. I think there's been line shake-ups and stuff like that in the preseason and stuff. But this is what I think should be, hopefully by the end of the year. First off, Joe Line, keep them together. I expect them to score this year. Last year, they hit a slump when we needed them to not hit a slump. So I think that'll be really important for them to get out there and score. In my opinion, they should score like a top line. They should score 70, 75 points each. Second line, I actually think should be center heavy. I think Matt Duchene should center it. I think Turris should be on the wing. And I think Craig Smith should be on the wing. Now, I say that because Turris and Smith already have chemistry together. And throwing in Duchene, I think, will help a lot. And I think if, one gets thrown out, Turris can come in and take a face-off. Whereas if you were to have Granlund on that line, you have Granlund or Smith come in, and it's not as likely that they'll win you a face-off. But I think having Turris there will provide, kind of like a crutch in case Matt Duchene ever gets thrown out of the face-off circle. I think Smith is, you can slide him in and out with Granlund. I have Granlund on the third line. I think you can switch them around. I think they'll have about the same amount of success in both situations. But I think Craig Smith has, from what I know with the Preds, Craig Smith has better chemistry with Turris and then has a better history of scoring, whereas Granlund really couldn't get much going last year. But I think maybe a full year of Granlund will be good. Third line, I have Granlund, Bones, and Yarncroke. I think this could be a really dangerous third line but it could be really good defensively, reliable third line, good shutdown. Like I said, Granlund and Smith can go in and out. I think if you want it to be more defensive, I think you put Smith out there with them. If you want it to be more offensive, you put Granlund out. Not to slight Granlund in any way. I just think Smith is just a little bit better defensively. Neither are great defensively. But Benino, if you have Granlund and Yarncroke out there, just send them up the wings, have a nice outlet pass to them, get them going. You could probably get them in some 2-on-1 situations, 2-on-2 situations, 3-on-2. Even though Benino isn't that fast, I think he'll win you a lot of faceoffs. It'd be really good for them just to have that pair, those three together. Like I said, Smith and Granlund interchangeable. And the last line, I think, would be even better of a shutdown line. I think it's probably one of the best fourth lines in the National Hockey League. Sissons, Grimaldi, and Watson. Now, Watson provides the grit and some scoring prowess. Sissons is a decent playmaker. He provides some grit. Grimaldi he's just a pest. He is faster than you. He will dig for the puck, and he will get scoring opportunities no matter what. I remember him developing good chemistry with, I can't remember his name. He was an enforcer type player. I think he developed really good chemistry with him last year. It was Zach Ronaldo. I don't want him back. Unfortunately, he's not going to still be there. It is what it is. I think this fourth line will be better anyway. Defense pairs, AOC Ellis, Ekholm, Fabro, and Ham Hughes, and I think Weber should be there. Again, that last defensive pairing is interchangeable. I don't really care who goes there as long as they're decent defensively. Yossi wants good point production out of him. Ellis needs to be better than he was last year. Ekholm, he was fine last year. Need a little bit more offense out of the defense. The defensive pairs, especially the top two. Dante Fabro, very excited to see him play. And if he starts playing well enough, and he's just going to 100%, teams are trying to shut him down, I am for sure getting his Winter Classic jersey. That's not even a question. I love Dante Fabro. He really became one of my favorites last year. I really hope he does well. I think being with Ekholm, he'll be good. And he'll be a good replacement for PK Subban. So yeah, that's that. Power play. Clearly, our power play was absolute trash last year, and I think everyone knows that. I think it was the worst in the league. I think it was clicking like 11% or something like that. It was so bad, historically bad. That needs to change. I believe they hired a coach to come in and fix the power play this year. Hopefully that works, because, oh God, a team with this kind of possible scoring prowess should not be doing that. Yes, they should not be at the bottom of the league in terms of power play. It clearly killed them in the playoffs. They couldn't get anything going against the Stars, and the Stars are such a defensive team that that was the death of them, really. And no one could score. Hopefully, bringing the Matt Duchene will help. Hopefully, Johansson and Forsberg and Arvidsson won't be injured as much, because I know Arvidsson, I think he would have had 47 goals if he had not been injured. I know he hit 35, maybe 34, something like that. Bad. Power play was bad last year. So this year, this is going to be unpopular amongst some of Preds fans, but here's my proposal. Now, and they're going to pop up right here. First power play line, I think, should be Forsberg, Duchene, Turris, Watson, and Yossi. I know what you're thinking. Why is Watson out there? One thing we could not get last year on the power play was a net front presence. That's why we brought in Simmons. That's why we tried to use Arvidsson, But I think having Watson out there, he'll provide a good screen, because he's a big dude. He's hard to move. He'll push other players out of the way and make it to where other players can get the puck to the net and then hopefully in the net. Duchene, Turris, I know that's been looked at as a line anyway, so I think that could be a really good offensive line. I think Matt Duchene can play the point well, probably play the point, or Forsberg. It doesn't really matter as long as you have Yossi back there. It's just kind of interchangeable. Just do the cycle. Probably have Duchene at even the bumper position, like the way TJ Oshie plays the power play. There's a lot you could do with that. Second power play unit of Granlund, Johansson, Arvidsson, Ekholm, and Ellis. Again, Granlund and Arvidsson. Arvidsson's he's your net front presence there. You got the two defensemen at the point, just firing shots. You got Arvidsson there. Johansson is a great playmaker. We've seen that in the past. Arvidsson can clean it up whenever, and then I think Granlund will really come into his own this year and play like the sniper he can be. Play like the offensive threat that he can, and I think he can really thrive on a power play unit with the likes of Ekholm and Johansson, with Arvidsson out in front. And now, pretty much my overall expectation for the year, like this is just line expectations. This team needs to be better than they were last year. They started off really, really well, which I think saved them in the end and had them winning the division. They didn't deserve it at all, in my opinion. But I think if they can play a complete season and can play complete, because there was one stretch last year where they were just a god awful team. Like, I know Arvidsson and Forsberg were injured, but they were so bad. Like, it was hard to watch, really. I mean, it's about when I started making these videos last year. It was just so hard to watch. They can't do that this year. They can't hit a slump. I'd rather them start the season off poorly and just finish strong. I don't want them to play poorly at all. This team's too good to play bad at any time. And then playoffs, power play needs to be going. It's too far away to really say, but the power play needs to be just chugging at every second. Like, we can't be at 11% again. That's going to kill us during the regular season. It's going to kill our positioning. Like, a good team needs to have a strong power play and a strong penalty kill. I'm confident in just about every player out on the ice to kill penalties. So, I mean, I have no concerns with the penalty kill. We can tighten up here and there, but power play definitely needs to get better. And that's pretty much the only expectations that we don't need to slump. We can't slump, rather, especially in the Central Division. The Central Division will eat this team alive if they slump. There are just too many good teams. Winnipeg's actually fallen off. If you've looked at their defense, it's god-awful. But they've fallen off a bit. St. Louis just won the freaking cup. Chicago will always be there. They could always be the Preds' kryptonite. The Wild, again, for some reason, the Preds have a hard time playing the Wild. The Dallas Stars, they came in and beat us last year. It's just, there are too many good teams. The Avalanche are on the rise. Like, you can't fall behind in this division. So yeah, the first two games of the season are against the Wild, who we should probably be able to beat them at home, and then Detroit, who we also have at home. Before we head out on the road, I believe on our first Western swing already. I have confidence in this team, and here is, I think, the ultimate goal for the 2019-2020 Preds this season. That's it. Cup or bust for the Preds this year. Uh, I have nothing else to say about it. They have to win the cup this year, and I excuse my terrible Stanley Cup drawing. So that's it for this one. If you like this video, give it a like. If you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. I will have the Devils one up probably sometime on Friday. So yeah. Otherwise, go Preds, and cup or bust. That's our slogan for this year. Cup or bust. Do 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 do.